Hey everyone, George the Disney Italiano coming to you with another Citrico Central Live. Just because I thought it'd be a great time to do so. I haven't done one in a while. And today is the last day of July, which means tomorrow is August 1st, which then says it's Halloween time. I remember growing up as a kid when literally the 1st of October is when we started getting like our decorations out and shopping for costumes. And I just think it's so crazy that in today's time, with August 1st, that's when you start getting out the fall decor with the pumpkin spice and the Halloween costumes and all that stuff. So crazy, crazy stuff. Well, it looks like we have Mr. Jacob Weller in the house. Welcome in, sir. And thank you so much. 2 minutes early. Yeah, so, and then, of course, my babe, Abby. Yeah, it's weird that Halloween starts in August, and I think it's starting like earlier and earlier. I think honestly, instead of celebrating like the 4th of July, we'll be celebrating Halloween during that time. Crazy. Jacob Weller says, "What's your guys' plan? You plan to dress up and pass out candy? Probably not pass out candy. I don't know. I don't think so because I think we're going to have plans on actual Halloween night, but on August 19th. No, is it August? Yeah, August 19th. I got so much going on. I'm getting the days mixed up. August 19th, Abby and I will be doing Oogie Boogie, which will be Abby's first time. So very excited about that. I'm very curious to see how Syndrome is going to look, just because I predicted that one over a year ago. Just saying. The Italiano knows stuff, which I really don't, but I still know stuff. Disney listens to me. And then Mr. Jacob Weller says, "Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't." Thank you so much, sir. Greatly appreciate it. And also, too, Jacob, don't worry. We haven't forgot about you. Just a lot of crazy stuff has been going on lately. A lot of life stuff that Abby and I have been going through kind of delayed us, but we will be getting out everybody's packages and stuff delivered to them. So don't worry. We still have your information. We will get that taken care of. Abby says, "I think we were trying to go to HHN or Not Scary on Halloween." Yeah, we're doing like a triple threat during at the end October 30th, 31st, and November 1st. I see. Understandable. Did we do your hunt? No, not yet. Don't worry. You haven't missed that one. Yeah, see, Abby says, still going to hide the Italiano. Probably in the next week or so, probably because we're going to be heading back down to Disneyland. So we'll be planning on that soon, to hide the Italiano, and all you guys have to find me. So we'll see how that goes. and then of course, as I said, in order for me to hide, Abby will be playing host. So she's going to do great. Everyone, please show love and support when she does the live. You guys will probably enjoy it even more. Who knows? But yeah, so I thought like today to talk about Halloween, of everything that's been going on, like with the news. We have Five Nights at Freddy's and what the hell was the other one? It was Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh, and WWE, the Wyatt Six. Being added to the roster for HHN Hollywood. So that's going to be great. I think that gives us 7 houses, and I think there's going to be 8 total. So I think we have one more that needs to be added. So we'll see. Yeah, so we have Five Nights at Freddy's. We have WWE, Fallout, Scarecrow, Jason, Terrifier, and then the Latin house, and then we will, I think, have one more. The one I'm curious about Five Nights at Freddy, of how they're going to do it. If it's done really well, that's going to be phenomenal. The one I'm apprehensive about is like I don't get scared in the sense where, like where I get nightmares or stuff, but like I do get like that adrenaline rush of being scared. Is the Terrifier, because I've seen bits and pieces of the movies, and they're very graphic. They're very dark. So I'm very curious to see how they do that for sure. Let's see. Jacob Weller says Abby's the ghost host. Yeah, Abby does get nightmares. Usually she's barricaded underneath my arm through the whole entire experience, which the scare actors know this. They see it, they feed off of it, and they follow her. Like it's like when it's almost like when you don't show fear, that's when you like kind of just puff out your chest and you're like, you know, I just did that just to show off my chest hairs. So And Jacob Weller, did you see the Avatar 3 trailer? I did, yes. We got to see it when we went to go see Fantastic Four. For the first trailer out for it, absolutely breathtaking with the visuals. As always, James Cameron is a master class at that. It looks great with the, what is it, the fire people or the ash people. They look really interesting. I would love to know their backstory and that they're a real threat, to Jake and Natiri's clan, so to speak. So I'm very curious to see how the movie is. I mean, I love the first one. I love Way of Water. So without a doubt, I'm going to absolutely love Fire and Ash for sure. For sure. Let's see, Jacob Weller. I'm scared. I can only watch and not go to too many gores and scary news. Scary stuff. Don't do haunted houses. Yeah, a lot of people, they get freaked out by it. A lot of people can't do it for sure. So it's going to be very interesting. On a lighter note, Disney, obviously has released a lot of their spectacular treats at the parks, and I do apologize if you hear a noise. They're having a little get together downstairs. But they're having like spectacular treats, in the parks, and they released the costumes for the Fab Five, which are really cool. And then again, as I said, you have Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and Oogie Boogie Bash. As far as I know, there's not really a whole lot that they're changing. Like they're tweaking like some of the characters, the villains for Oogie Boogie, but nothing really too extravagant. I'm curious to see like how they incorporate Halloween moving forward with like all the future projects and construction, especially with DCA, with Coco and Avatar. So we'll see if they keep Oogie Boogie there or if they move the Halloween party temporarily over to Disneyland. So we'll see. I just hope and wish in time that they do something a little bit more for Oogie Boogie instead of just like swapping out villains. Because this year, I mean, we're getting Maleficent and Syndrome. Syndrome's completely new, but he's replacing Sid. And Sid, he was one of the A-listers of villains for Oogie Boogie. And then Maleficent, we had her before, so they're just basically. Now, as I said, I still love Oogie Boogie. I love doing them. I'm very curious to see what Abby thinks of it because it's her first time going, so that's going to be great. But we don't have Sid. We don't have Madam Mim. Madam Mim was one of my favorites. So we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. But kind of shifting gears on the holidays, going from Halloween to Christmas, out here in California, they're doing a at Storytellers at the Grand Cali. They're going to do like a dinner kind of thing or brunch or something. I have to read a little more on it, but based off of Mickey's Christmas Carol, and the characters are going to be in their full costumes from the film. Mickey and Minnie dressed as like the Cratchits, and Scrooge dressed as Scrooged. Scrooge dressed as Scrooge. Goofy dressed as the Marley Ghost. So it's going to be very, very interesting. I think Mickey's Christmas Carol doesn't give a whole lot of love, so I'm surprised it took this long for them to do something, but late is better than never. That's always I have to say. Let's see. He'd be the savior and you're the damsel. Absolutely. Yes. Oogie Bash is where you meet Captain Hook, right? I know Captain Hook is in the parade. I don't know if he actually has. I think they do have like certain meetup spots, like for the characters. I think you can meet Captain Hook and Smee. I know last year we were able to meet Pain and Panic. That was really cool. I loved meeting Pain and Panic because you can never see them anytime else. Um, let's see, Abby. Yes, he's my hero with the scary. Yep, I come in. Nothing can break this Italiano. Nothing. But yeah, but yeah, I think a lot is on the horizon for the holidays for sure. As I said, very excited for HHN, very excited for Not Scary Farm. Um, Christmas time, at Disneyland, also with Oogie Boogie. And I mentioned this many times before. When it comes to the holidays, as far as like Christmas time goes, believe it or not, Knott's Berry Farm is one of my favorite spots to actually go for Christmas time. I will say, like the snowfall on Main Street with the music for Disneyland, you can't beat that. But there's just some sort of charm to Knott's Berry Farm, like during the holidays with the Peanuts gang and Snoopy and the spectacular Christmas show that they put on in the Walter Knott's Theater. I mean, that alone is like a ticket worthwhile. And Abby and I, we currently have Knott's Berry Farm passes, but we're probably not going to renew for next year. We took it because we thought we would, be going more, but we haven't really gone that much because there's really nothing like an incentive to go. I would say more so for the holidays and for Boysenberry Festival and for like Not Scary Farm, but like 3 times out of the whole year for the pass, I don't know if it's worth it. Let me know what you guys think. If the Knott's pass is worth 3 times to go within a year. Not sure. Jacob, yes, you agree. Knott's Berry Farm is a blast. Absolutely. Do you guys do mistletoe tradition? It's funny is I have no problem with doing mistletoe tradition, but her and I constantly kiss. You would think that we have an attachment of a mistletoe all year round, which is a good thing. So yes, Knott's Berry Farm is great. Absolutely. Let's see. But yeah, so I think the holidays are coming up soon. As I said, Halloween, Christmas, and then soon to be 2026. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, 2026, whole new year. We're going to have D23. For probably the next summer. They usually hold it between August and September. So we'll see. But we have to get through this Destination D23 first. It's much more smaller, more complacent than the D23 event that's held out here because Destination D happens every other year to the big D23 event, and it's always held down in Walt Disney World. So we'll see what kind of news we get out of that. They did move it from the Contemporary to Coronado, which has a much bigger capacity. They sold more tickets. Of course, the price, went up on the tickets. So that tells me, if you're going to higher, up the price, what is going to be the incentive to, for people to pay for that? You got to give us something big. And yes, Abby, her birthday is in the middle of the holidays. It's literally right after Thanksgiving, but right before Christmas. So it's like in that sweet spot for sure. For sure. And then, of course, they started the construction process for Tropical Americas down in Animal Kingdom. You have Monsters Inc. that they just started laying out groundwork. We're getting the Zootopia show inside the Tree of Life at the end of this year, which I still don't know if I agree with that, but okay, I'm willing to check it out. I mean, I do think that Zootopia does belong in the Disney parks. I just don't know if the Tree of Life is one of those. And then what else do we have going on? And then, of course, the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island closed. Regardless of what you feel about it, it's perfectly fine, but it's closed and the new stuff is coming. So Cars and Villains are on their way as well. So I'm very curious. And it's funny that we were amped up this anticipation of what all this new stuff was going to be. Um, for the last D23. And now that we know, it's like, yeah, we can't wait for it. But it's like, okay, now what's the next set of news? What's for the second half of the 10-year commitment? And they promised, they said actually the second wave is supposed to be even more bigger and spectacular than the first. And I could believe that because I think there's going to be a lot attached to Disneyland's 75th anniversary. And I know that we're celebrating the 70th, but I think the 75th is going to be a banger, a bigger banger than this one for sure. And then with Disney's Hollywood Studios, they just reopened the Little Mermaid show, and they're redoing the whole animation courtyard by adding the new animation building. So that's going to be great. I'm so glad they're kind of going backwards to go forward, so to speak. And they're adding the sorcerer hat, and it's still going to keep like the same kind of like meet and greet kind of thing that's with the Star Wars launch bay now, but it'll be for the classic Disney characters, and it's going to have a storyline that it's literally you walk into the studio, and after all the animators leave, the Disney characters come out to play, sort of like the Once Upon a Studio kind of thing. And I love how the area is going to be literally decked out to look like the studio here in Burbank. I think that's great, great tribute to it. And then they're going to do something with the Disney Junior building, and I'm thinking it's going to be Bluey, because they said earlier on in the year Bluey was going to make her way to the Disney parks and even Disney Cruise Line. We still haven't gotten full word on it, but I think when it comes to Walt Disney World, Bluey fits more into Disney's Hollywood Studios, and what better way to put her right there where the Disney Junior building is, right outside of the animation building. I see Abby says, I can't see it in the Tree of Life. Yeah, I can't either. I'm still very curious to see how they, how it transmits into like going from outside of the Tree of Life, and then you're going into the world of Zootopia where animals are wearing clothes and you see a cop car, and like I don't know how that's going to work. Jacob Weller, what is Tom Sawyer's Island like? I'm trying to remember. It's more like a like kind of like a playground-ish explorer kind of thing where you have like rock climbing and little caves to explore. I will say though, the island over here, and I can't speak for Magic Kingdoms because honestly I haven't been over to the one in Magic Kingdom. I just had no desire to. It's like I'm in a Disney theme park. There's so much more that I could be doing than going through caves and climbing rocks. Like I could do that outside. It's like just wasn't for me. But anyway, going over to the Tom Sawyer Island over here, they have these bridges where like where it kind of like moves like this. But I mean, it is hard because when you step down, it like pushes down, and you have to do that with each step. And I tell you what, for someone that has bursitis and Achilles tendonitis, it kills my ankles and heels. So it's like I stay away from it as much as I can. I did it once, and once was enough. Now, I still say keep the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island over here because that's more tied to Walt, and it fits so well with the aesthetics of the park, from Frontierland to New Orleans Square to the Bayou Country. It's just like that whole circle, and then in the back it moves to Galaxy's Edge, and then of course you have Fantasmic right there. So they utilize that for like the dining packages and all that. So. And I just love, like, especially when I have like a reservation at Cafe Orleans and I get an outdoor seat, and you can just like sit and watch the water and the Mark Twain and the ship Columbia passing by. It's just the aesthetics are just so much better than what it is done at Walt Disney World for sure. Let's see. Yeah, it's needed for Fantasmic. Absolutely. It says Fantasia, but I knew what you meant, babe. All the way from the UK, we got Matthew Murr. Tough question. Do you personally need a Disney film to labor really hard on its story and plot like Pixar's does? Or is it pure entertainment value your priority? Ooh, very good question, Matthew. So for me, I think you still need a very good story. But sometimes I feel like when you have too much of a complex story where you're trying so hard to go lap over lap over lap, where you're really trying to convey to the audience, you lose the audience. Sometimes you can have a very intricate storyline, but that's simple, and let the characters do the work. It's almost like you take a story like Ratatouille. You have something that you would never think in the real world. Here's the complexity to it: a rat that wants to be a chef. Okay, well, a rat in a kitchen doesn't mix. So there's the antagonistic side of the story, and they basically, the slogan is anyone can cook. And when they say that, well, that's including a rat. So it's a rat with a dream, and then you just kind of let the characters kind of flow with the story. It's something so simple but yet kind of stupid in a sense, but yet it works. But when you have these stories that you're like really trying to convey to the audience, it's like, okay, well, this character is trying to do this, to do this, to do this, to do this. It's like you get lost in translation, and then you check yourself out. So I say honestly, don't tell a good story, but don't get inside your own head of trying to make it too complex. If that makes sense, and if that answers your question, Matthew. But very good question. I actually like that question. Very good. Which actually, speaking of animation, I mean, they're talking about possibly, bringing back 2D animation to the studio. And honestly, I can kind of see that happening, um, with new leadership. I can see, it happening with the animation building coming back to DHS. And then also, too, they're bringing back Andreas Deja to work on Villains Land. Now, of course, that could be more of a constructive kind of consultant of how to bring these characters to life in the real world in a big way. Because, I mean, he was a spearhead for the villains in the Renaissance era. I mean, basically, he was the lead supervisor for Gaston, Jafar, and Scar, like the three big films of Disney's Renaissance era in the 90s. So they could be using him for that notion, they can or they can actually be utilizing him. Maybe they'll have animation, inside the attractions, specifically for the dark ride. I feel like the dark ride is going to be the big e-ticket. They'll have like the roller coaster, but I feel like the roller coaster is going to be a thrill, but the dark e-ticket attraction is going to be like the creme de la creme of the land, so to speak. But it's not just about those two rides, though. They have to bring the land to life. They have to do what they have to do to bring this whole land of villains and tell a story, a sweeping storyline that can convey to people to say, yeah, I want to go to Walt Disney World to see this. You cannot do another Galaxy's Edge. You cannot. It's aesthetically pleasing. The interior, the exterior, it's great. Rise of the Resistance, one of the greatest, rides from start to finish. It's very immersive. It's not even just a ride, it's an experience. But the land itself, there's no pulse. And as I always say, you need meat and potatoes in that pot of water. And I then turn the burner on. So I hope that's not the case for Villains. They need to knock it out of the ballpark with that one. See, Abby says, I agree that it's good to have a story, but it shouldn't be too overcomplicated. Absolutely. That's answering to Matthew's question. So you think like Dark Universe? I think, honestly, even Dark Universe, I still don't feel like it's enough. Like, the ride is spectacular. Not a fan of like the mosquito netting, like around the roller coaster for the werewolf. I kind of think it throws the element out. I don't think the land is big enough, but yet I don't blame Universal, because I feel like that the majority of people don't really, go for the classic Universal monster. So they just make do for what it is, but I still think they need a little bit more storyline, especially when you're talking about the Disney villains, because there's more there's more to it than just there's more to it than just just having the villains there. Like, there's not too much of a storyline, like with the classic Universal monsters. They're just there, and that's why I feel like the ride is kind of like all over the place, because there's like not no cohesive storyline. As I said, I still enjoy the ride, but I mean, with the Disney villains, you have to have a coexisting storyline in the land, in the attractions. It all has to flow. All has to flow. But yeah, that's what I hope. But I do have hopes that with Dark Universe and even the Villains Land, kind of going back to the holidays, I think it'll be big for Halloween. I mean, if Disney and Universal can do it correctly, I mean, you'll have you can do lots of stuff, special, private events. You could do after hour ticket events. There's a lot to work with there. The only thing with Universal is that, as I said, Dark Universe is a little bit small. I actually feel like, to me, it's smaller than Toontown. But there is an expansion pad that they may add for the creature from the Black Lagoon. So we'll see how that works. If they decide to add it there, I think they should, and they should really make it a water ride, because these parks need water rides. I know a lot of people don't like getting wet, but a lot of people also complain about it's so hot. I'm sweating. I'm this. I'm that. Like, cool down. You'll dry. It's Florida. Jacob Weller says, do you think Disney needs to do what Epic Universe is doing with their lands and other Universal land? Of what you're referring to, Jacob, correct me if I'm wrong. I think, honestly, what they need to do is start the process and then announce it. Because if you announce it while you're already in the process of building it, then you're guaranteed that you're getting what they're showing you. If that's what you're referring to, like where they're showing like early concept art, and that's where a lot of people get married to it. But here's the thing, you can't. It's a piece of concept art. It changes over time. It's just to show you what Disney has in mind. It's not exactly, boom, here's the concept art. This is exactly what you're getting. A lot of people have that common misconception. Abby says, are you excited for Vegas Horror Unleashed? Yes, I'm excited for Vegas in general. I've never been out there before. I can't wait to walk the strip, see Cirque du Soleil, the Blue Man Group, check out the restaurants, the sights, the sounds, the smells. Well, maybe not the smells. And of course, Horror Unleashed. That one's going to be very interesting. I do wish that we were going with Conductor and Tommy Tune on opening day, because it would have been really cool to experience it with them, literally for the very first one. That would have been really cool. I know Tommy will be there a couple days after also, but we'll also be there with Theme Park Wizard. And I think Conductor will be leaving early. But I'm very curious to see about Horror Unleashed, because I feel like that they're going to go kind of a little bit all out on this. I mean, they go all out in Universal, in the park itself. But the fact that it's not in a park environment, it's in Vegas, I think this one's going to be a lot more intense, more extreme. I just feel like Abby's going to be like barricaded in my arm, I'd say from August to October. So for about 2.5, 3 months, Abby will be barricaded underneath my arm. And Jacob Weller says, don't wear black shoes. They melt. Very true. Very true. I'm used to the Florida heat. I've been going down there since I was a young kid. I can handle the heat. Although I do sweat, I do, like, it does take a toll on you, but I mean, I could handle it just because I'm so used to it. I was a 2-hour flight away from Florida when I lived in PA. I know Abby isn't used to it yet. I'm going to try to get her acclimated as much as possible when we go, but also kind of like don't overdo it for her. Just kind of like give it to her in increments. Boy, that sounded terrible. That was horrible. That sounded so dirty. By the way, what did I say? I'm the Italiano. Um, but so yeah, so I think like in time, like once we go to Florida more and more, hopefully that she'll be able to adapt to the climate change, the weather, the rain. So we'll see. Yes, all Halloween season, I'm barricaded in your arm. Absolutely. And Abby, what was the other one we were going to try to go to? It was the like obviously Oogie Boogie, HHN, Vegas, not Scary Farm, but I thought there was one more. There was one more I thought that was part of the end of October. If you can let me know. I thought we talked about it with Conductor and Tommy. But yeah, so a lot of stuff is on the horizon, and I can't wait for it. And coming from Citrico Central, I will be there, on the ground as much as I possibly can, to give you as much coverage as I possibly can, and hopefully, you can enjoy it all with us. Fright Fest, thank you. That was it. Jacob, now I don't know. Is Fright Fest at Six Flags? Is that the same thing or is that different? Six Flags. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that it's it. Okay. I haven't been to Six Flags here. I'm very curious. I always wanted to go on Goliath. I've been to Six Flags before, just not this one out here in California. So, who knows? Maybe that'll be my time to experience it with Fright Fest. So we'll see. As I said, we're going to try to do a triple, the 30th, the 31st, and the 1st. So we shall see. It'll be literally a Fright Fest. No pun intended. But yeah, there's a lot, going on with the parks. And hopefully, we may even get some Universal news even for like the park expansions, whether it's for Epic Universe, whether it's for the studios or IOA. I have a feeling Wicked is going to be coming. I don't know where. It may be one of the new lands for Epic Universe. I know there's like on a gate, you have like the, it's like a map where it kind of shows the areas of what is already there for Epic Universe. And there's like 2 or 3 blank areas that they're going to fill in. And I just have a feeling that Wicked is going to be one of them. I don't know why. And I feel Wicked would be kind of cool because it would fit in well with, like for young girls, that they'll have like something for them to experience. And not even just for girls, but like it would be geared towards, young girls. And you could have the Emerald City. And I think that'd be really cool. And Abby says, no Goliath, that's scary. I've been wanting to go on Goliath since I was like 6 years old, to be honest with you. I'm a thrill junkie. I love roller coasters. Let's see. Maybe I don't personally like Six Flags. Yeah, it's not really my cup of tea either, to be honest with you. I think it was much better in the early 2000s. For me, I don't know how it was out here, but like on the East Coast Six Flags, it was much better. Much better run, but it just like even then a lot of the Six Flags over there like went down. I think it's just poor management. I really do. But I kind of wish that Six Flags would give up DC to Universal, because if that's the case, then maybe Universal can give up Marvel to Disney. Because I feel like that Universal can do so much with DC, and Disney can do so much with Marvel. Especially with Fantastic Four, which actually we're going to be going to see it again tonight with our good friend Mademoiselle. It'll be our second time seeing the movie. Absolutely love it. As I said, I did an out of theater reaction on Citrico Central. It was a 10 out of 10 for me. And it definitely sets the stage for Avengers Doomsday and for possibly Secret Wars. So we'll have to wait and see. And we got, speaking of Tommy Toon, we got Tommy Toon in the house. Sup, George? You ready for Vegas? I am definitely ready, Tommy. I can't wait to see you guys there. Can't wait to just experience Vegas in general, but also to experience Horror Unleashed. It's going to be a great time. See, Abby, I went on Goliath once and it was so scary. Now, Abby, let me ask you this. Would you go on with me? Even though it was scary, you probably said to yourself, I'm never doing that again. Would you go? Is it too scary that it would stop you from going on with me, or is it like, nope, that was like a one and done, not doing it again? And if it is, don't, that's perfectly fine. Because as I said, I know like there's certain rides where you go on and you're like, okay, never again. One time was good. But yeah, Tommy, I can't wait to hang out with you, man. I can't wait for you to come down for my birthday. It's going to be a great time. And then, as I said, then we got all this stuff coming up with Vegas with Horror Unleashed, and then also too, if you're still up for the triple threat on the October 30th, 31st, and November 1st with Fright Fest and HHN and Not Scary Farm, I'm all for it. Yeah, crazy, crazy couple weeks indeed. Crazy. I stand again, and this is all in August, where I mean, even with me, like my schedule even runs into September, um, with a trip to Cabo, and just yeah, just a lot's going on, and even in September. George could lose a kidney stone on Goliath. Yeah, one could hope. luckily, um, luckily, I'm kidney stone free at the moment. Thank God. That was those 2 months were literally felt like 2 years to me. Um, but yeah, so hopefully not in a while. Tommy Toon, let's do it. Yes, absolutely. And he is see. Does zombie Captain America show up during Oogie Boogie? I don't. I thought he did for a season or two. I don't know if he still does or if he will. He may be on the roster, or sometimes they just like bring them out. Um, I kind of hope they do, because that way it would give some liveliness, into Avengers Campus, during the party. I know that they brought him out. I just don't know if they still bring him out, but that's a good question. I'd love to know, and that would be cool because I didn't get to see him for myself, like in person. And I think that's it gives Disney that edge, and that's the beauty part that they can do with DCA and even Disney's Hollywood Studios. When they use Marvel or Lucasfilm or the Fox properties, you can give that little bit of edge as long as Disney allows it to. That would be really cool. But yeah, it actually seems like we're doing every spot for Halloween. We're doing Disney, we're doing Universal, we're doing Knott's, and we're doing Six Flags. That's crazy. That is some crazy gravy. And then, as I said, for Christmas, definitely going to do Disney. Definitely going to do Knott's. I mean, obviously, I'll go to Universal. Universal, I would say, is like the weakest out of the three when it comes to the holidays. Like, it was really cool with Grinchmas. I mean, we waited like 2 hours in line to meet the Grinch, which he was cool. I loved meeting him, but the team member couldn't take pictures to save her life. Like, she could not get literally all three of us to look at the camera at once. Like, she took a whole bunch of pictures, but it just none of them counted. I still have them, but I think it was really cool. And I'm like looking at them all. I'm like, geez, like we stood in line for 2 hours. Like, could you at least get one decent photograph? And then the lighting of the tree of Whoville and everything, that was really cool. But I mean, like, other than that, I mean, there's nothing really like special or spectacular that goes on during Universal. Let's see. Saying meeting the Grinch was a blast. Yeah, he was really cool. And we also got to meet Max, which was really cool. You gave him hot sauce? Oh, that was interesting. What was his reaction on that one? Oh, that's right. And then we got the Queen Mary. I'm down to do the Queen Mary. If you want to do it this year too, we could do the Queen Mary. I heard that was really kind of spooky, but cool spooky. Yeah, that'd be cool. And if not, we could always shoot for next year. But I mean, if we could squeeze it in somewhere this year, I'm down for it. Having a Halloween haunted Halloween marathon. And did he actually take the hot sauce, or like did he give it back? I'm very curious about that. Very, very curious. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait for everything that's on the horizon for sure. As I said, we got a lot coming up. We have all the Halloween stuff. We have the Christmas stuff. As I said, we have our trip, me and Abby with family to Cabo. We have, let's see, and then next year we have trip to Walt Disney World again and Universal with some friends, and then hopefully that is going to be a much better experience than what the last one was, just because with my kidney stone. So hopefully this will make up for it. And then we have a cruise or two coming up as well next year. I say a cruise or two because we definitely have one set up. No, we have two set up. We're going on one. Not 100% sure on the second, but we're definitely going on one. So we'll see how that goes. And let's see. He took it and he said he's going to make some hot sauce onion soup. Oh man, my indigestion would love that. He was very excited to get a gift that wasn't an onion. I even gave him a gift for Max. That's really cool. That's really cool. Excuse me. So yeah, just a lot on the horizon. And as I said, I will document. Excuse me. I greatly apologize. Yeah, we'll see how everything goes as far as like having all this stuff on the roster. And then, as I said, I'm going to document as much as I possibly can to bring it to you for Citrico Central and take you guys on the journey with us. And as you can see, you got someone in the background there.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
So as Abby goes from screen to screen. Of course. So what do you think of everything that's just like on our roster, literally from now to even into 2026?
Well, I don't get how we're doing all these scary things when I hate it to begin with. My fault. I decided.
She created a monster, literally and figuratively.
I decided to invite him to HHN because he's never been. And I thought, hey, that would be a cute kind of like maybe go out on a date kind of thing. But yeah.
Little did she know, she found out that I really liked it and want to go again.
Yes. And I live in his armpit for the whole entire evening.
Yep.
So now we're going to go to all three. So we'll see. No, but I'm really excited about Oogie Boogie because I've never been.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the only one that I've never been to. I've been to HHN, Fright Fest, and Queen Mary, Not Scary Farm. I've done all those when I was younger and I was more stupid. But and then I'm excited for and we're even doing the Vegas one. I'm excited to show him around Vegas because he's never been to that. I'm excited for our Cabo trip because that's going to be a nice vacation. We're staying at an all-inclusive resort, thanks to my mom. So all-inclusive because it's like all the food and alcohol's done.
Included.
My daughter's kind of sad because she doesn't get to go at this year because she loved learning what a double of alcohol meant.
A double shot.
Yes.
Yep.
So, and then just have a lot going on. And my work keeps saying, "You're on vacation again?" I said, "Yes."
It's for the channel's sake.
Yes.
We gotta do all this and bring it to you guys,
Yes, that's my excuse.
Yes.
So hopefully you enjoy it.
Yes.
I'm nervous about hiding him because, like I said, I'm not used to having to be a host. So hopefully you guys join and help find him.
Let's see. If he can do Goliath, he can do Queen Mary. Oh yeah, I could do all that stuff. It's her that's apprehensive with all this. And Jacob Weller, I think he's asking you this. You excited for Christmas at Disneyland?
Yes, I love Christmas at Disneyland. I love Christmas also at Knott's, like you guys were talking about. I love the ice skating show that they do at Knott's. It's great. And then just I like Disney at Christmas time. It's just since my stupid pass, I don't get to go during the 2 weeks of Christmas. But I like seeing it beforehand.
Yes. Well, I think no pass
can
get you in. Yeah,
to go.
You have to literally buy a ticket.
Before when they were annual passes, the highest one let you go for the 2 weeks, and that's why you got the highest one. But now, no.
Yeah. And then we have someone new here, Toffee, My Rabbit, and Me. That's interesting. Very interesting. And it actually sounds like a children's book.
Yeah.
That would sound like a good title for a children's book. But welcome in. Glad you're here. But yeah, it's going to be, as I said, I love Christmas at Disneyland. I love like the snowfall with the music, with the castle. Like that's just great. But I don't know. As I said, I feel like Knott's does it really well. And I think it's so funny that like the rest of like the 363 days out of the year, Knott's is like, eh. But when it comes to like the holidays and Boysenberry, it's like they come out of the woodwork and they crush it every time.
Oh yeah, because the Boysenberry Festival, the food was so good compared to all the other ones we went to.
Toffee says, I sub to you. Well, thank you so much, Toffee. I greatly appreciate it. It means a lot. And you won't be disappointed. Hopefully you enjoy the content. And as we were just saying, we have a lot more content coming up in the future. As I said, we got our trip to Cabo, which I want to enjoy as a vacation, but hopefully if I can show you guys around through some vlogs or maybe even a live, we'll see. We have a lot more going on with Disneyland, Knott's, Universal, our trip to Walt Disney World and Universal Orlando next year. As I said,
back on a Disney cruise.
Back on a Disney cruise. She loves a Disney cruise. Thank God. I was worried about that.
Off.
She didn't. Like, she really didn't. Especially after doing Disney World and Universal. Oh. She's like, God, like, don't get me off this ship. Like, and then we got off and she was like, why didn't we just do, like, 2 of these?
Oh, man. Like, I just love, like, sitting by the pool. And we fell asleep for God knows how long because everyone was out in the Bahamas. We decided to make that a ship day for us, and it was amazing.
Yes, and honestly, and that's why I want to try to keep both cruises, because the one cruise we have is going to be in April of 26, going on possibly with some friends out of San Diego out here. So we wouldn't have to travel that far on the Disney Wonder. It's a 4-night. And then the second one, I kind of was bouncing all around with because it was.
I know, he kept telling me we're going on this one instead. Oh, this one.
Yeah.
This one.
I'm like, we'll do this one in September. And then I'm like, no, let's do this one because this one is a 10-night Southern Caribbean. And I'm like, yeah, but that might be too long, like to be away. And I thought, let's just go back down to a 5-night. So I picked a 5-night and I get it. It's late July, early August. I get it. That's like summertime in Florida. I get it. But we'll be on the cruise. But we'll be on the cruise. We got a 5-night cruise. And the reason why I picked that one is because that one is what I call a double dip. They have 2 days at Castaway Cay plus Lookout Cay. So that's literally the whole itinerary. It's 2 days of Disney Castaway Cay and then 1 day at Lookout Cay. So that way we don't have to actually spend the whole day out at Castaway Cay. We can maybe go out for a little bit, but then we can go back on the ship and enjoy because it's like, hey, we got another day. And then we have Lookout Cay. So I booked that one. Now, again, that's my plan. Is it going to actually come true? I don't know. We'll see. But the one in April, we're definitely going on. But I would really like to go on that 5-night double dip to Castaway Cay. That would be so cool. Especially because it also goes to Lookout Cay. And I get there's some things of Lookout Cay I don't really like. but I want to give that another chance because I felt like it wasn't fair because I was in so much distress and discomfort with my kidney stones that that I couldn't enjoy it right. And it was like I want to give that. I mean, I did have fun, but I knew I couldn't enjoy it to the full capability that I know I could. So I definitely want to do a do-over with Lookout Key. And possibly with that one, the other reason why I booked that one. Now, again, I'm not promising anything, but I did promise that I wanted to try to take Angel, her daughter, on her first Disney cruise because kind of like as a as a kind of like a gift for her graduating, because she's graduating in 2026. So one down, possibly two to go. Hopefully the third one wants to do trade school. But anyway, yeah, so there's a possibility, because if I wanted to take her on a Disney cruise, I wanted her to experience Disney's private islands. So for that one to have both of them plus an extra day at Castaway Cay, I think would be a really great experience. So yeah, so that's why I booked that one, just in case. Now, again, no promises, because I don't even know if we could even make that one. But I locked it in just in case, you know. So other than that, I think I covered everything I wanted to today. I wanted to thank you, everyone, for joining. I know this was kind of like an oddball live, but I've been wanting to get back into the lives for the past several days. Didn't really get a chance to do so. So I know this was like last minute, and it was an oddball day, an oddball time. For all of you who didn't get to check out the live, definitely watch it on replay for sure. I want to thank everyone for joining me today, and Abby as well. And before we get out of here, really quick, I just want to give my plug-in. I am an affiliate of the Magic Candle Company. If you are missing the parks and you want to bring that magic into your own home, go to magiccandlecompany.com, and they have a plethora of items that can make you have that Disney magic feel all over again, from candles, sprays, oils, soaps, whatever you can imagine, they have. Upon checkout, use my code Citrico15 for 15% off, and that's not just a one-time deal. You can always go on to magiccandlecompany.com, use that code, and you'll get 15% off every single time. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And yep, so this is Abby. I'm George, the Disney Italiano. And as I always say in Disney Italiano fashion, stay safe, stay healthy, stay Disney. Italiano out.